Hello everyone, Dr. Ruth here with Natural Solutions with Dr. Ruth. Today's video is one of my favorite subjects, talking about foods that sabotage your children's behaviors. So realize that when children are bouncing off the walls and they can't just seem to focus on their daily task, it could be maddening to parents. It could just be as tricky to get them to wind down as well at the end at night in the evening and get a sound sleep all night long. So these are many of the common things that could be occurring in your household that might be affected by what your child is eating. So many parents wish that they had something that they could do that just doesn't involve a prescription medication and that could still help the child focus and sleep better and just enjoy, their childhood. Well, there is so stay tuned and you'll find out soon. So the conventional medicine approach, when it comes to hyper children, behavioral, temper tantrums, parents think that it's just who the child is or just a phase that they're going through. So many times when parents take their child to their pediatrician, they share the struggles that they have been having, and the knee-jerk reflex, honestly, of the pediatrician, Western trained, is to assume that there's some issue that could be fixed with a prescription medication, because that's part of their training, to treat a symptom with a prescription med. But unfortunately, many times this doctor wants to prescribe a medication, but they can only help marginally, and they can actually harm your children in the long run. So using a prescription medication without taking a serious look at the root cause of what's happening within your child, it means that the issues could just get worse over time, or you might be suffering from negative side effects. So when traditionally trained doctors are great with acute medicine, and they often just aren't trained in nutrition and the lifestyle factors, and these are the real culprits when it comes to your child's health issues, honestly. We do not see the huge association between their diet and your child's behaviors and learning. And most conventional doctors just don't go deep into it to look at the food, the ingredients, the potential toxins, what we're putting in and on our body that could be wrecking your child's brain health and cause havoc with their hormones. So with the holistic approach, medicine approach that I have incorporated into my virtual consultations, food is medicine. Food can be the medicine for your child depending on what kind of food that you choose. So it could be a poison as well, and this could be impacting your child's brain, their hormones, and even their sleep patterns. So many children's diets consist of a high octane, simple carbohydrates, honestly, which are just as bad as eating sugar. Things like crackers, pasta, bread, and rice. Gluten in the crackers and the pasta is just an ingredient that damages the lining of our gut, and it can increase our insulin swings as well. So there's a lot of new science in this, and it shows how damaging it is for our brain function. Also realize that neurotransmitters are produced in our gut, and so gut health is the basis of our overall health. It seems like sugar is in a lot of the parents' radars, and that sugar is affecting their behavior, but there's many food issues that you have to also take into account. So things like food additives, preservatives, these are inflammatory foods, and also BPA is a chemical that's in our plastic bottles as well, might be affecting your child's health. Apart from these toxins in our everyday products also as well. And there's also wrong times when children should be eating, and whether they're starving their brain and creating issues with their concentration, or they're going too long without having meals in between. For example, skipping breakfast. A lot of children just don't have an appetite in the morning, and the parents just let them go by without giving them breakfast because they think they'll have it at school. But that is too close to their first class. And so the brain hasn't received enough glucose. And if you wait for them to have breakfast at school, your brain only can use glucose as a nutrient. It doesn't use carbohydrates or fats or protein. So also it takes a long time for our digestion to process the nutrients, and so your child might be literally going hungry for hours between the breakfast time where their brain is and their first class. So all these factors have to be taken into effect. It causes a domino effect of psychological changes, behavioral problems that could be affecting your child's school performance, their self-esteem issues also, and this just starts the domino cascade and the downward spiral to deteriorating their health. So when you talk to the doctor, you want to look at all these areas that are impacting your child's behavior. It may sound complicated to you, but in my practice currently, I work with parents all the time to help balance all of these pieces needed to properly nourish your children and avoid these toxic foods or habits that could be offsetting them in so many ways. So I'd love to talk to you some more about this in my virtual consultations. And if you'd like to go deeper on the topic of food and your children's behavior, you could register for my free video series on how to free kids from illnesses, toxins, and drugs for good. Simply click on the link next to this video.